I'm sorry. What? A vehicle this size should not go that fast. Today, I'm in a really awesome place, and that is the Rivian Service Center here in Orlando, Florida. And why am I here? Am I trading in my Tesla Model Y for a Rivian? No, not yet. Maybe. Who knows? But I am here to review the Gen 2 R1S. Let's go ahead and get in. So we're going to tap the key right on this, and it's going to present the handles for you. I'm going to grab it, open it up. Now before we get into it, let's take a look at this new interior. It's got a lot of soft touch materials in this version with the lighter colors, soft touch here, the lighter wood paneling, not to mention the good old flashlight for those of you that need some visibility when you get out of the vehicle. All right, before we get in, let's take a look at this new seats that they have here. This has very much of a plaid pattern, very premium, very high-end feeling, a bit on the firm on the edges on the bolsters here, but it's got a plaid pattern right in here, as always, with the Rivian logo right there. And we can sneak in on the side here. You can see the plaid material continues right in that area as well. Also plaid carpets. It's kind of more of a rougher material to it. So with this model, you have a drawer down here, so you can put, things in here. You can put it away. You also have your cup holders right here. Here, if I can figure this out, there you go. There's your glove box, because there is no glove box in the front of this R1S. But also, let's take a look at this wood finish right here. This looks amazing. This wood material, the way this looks. Let's jump in the back seat real quick. Now we continue that theme with the plaid material or plaid patterns back here. We have the rear seat pockets with the same plaid material. It's got this really nice soft material. One thing I really enjoy about the R1Ss and the R1T is the headrest. They have a little charge port right here and a little hook for you to actually hook anything on here, like your bag, your groceries, your purses, you name it. Same thing with the doors, similar material. I love this light material right here with this wood paneling. Then you got the Rivian logo right here for this little area for you to step onto. Now, I'm not that tall, but I'm only 5'6", but I'm sitting behind myself, and you can see that I have way plenty of space in here. So it's not, it's obviously 5'6". What are we talking about? It's definitely plenty of space for somebody of my height. Same thing if you're taller. There's a lot of room up here. Again, 5'6", not a whole lot going on.
Short Kings, where are you at?
But even if you were, 5'10", you're probably sitting up here. Might be a challenge for you. But a lot of space back here, a lot of really usable space. The way the seats look, the stitching right here, which complements the plaid pattern all the way down here. Same thing with the rear screen. You can lock all the doors from back here. You can unlock them as well. You have the radio options right here. You can check, the direction you're headed. I forgot to mention that the front seats also are ventilated and heated as well, whereas the second row and the third row are actually heated, which is really nice, especially because a lot of other SUVs don't have heated seats in the second or even the third row. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, hit the bell icon so you get notified when new videos come out, especially those that are coming up in the future. So when you put your key card right here, it activates the vehicle. So this is an upgrade from the Generation 1 Rivian R1S. Here from this main screen right here, you can see these are all my drive modes. You have your all-purpose mode. You have your conserve mode, which once you do that, it'll actually lower the ride heights. So you can kind of feel it coming down. Then you also have your sports mode. It also lowers the ride height to even lower. As you can see, every time I change the drive mode of the vehicle, it changes the graphics that are on here. Then you have your snow mode, or you can actually just control your ride height from this button right here, or you can raise it all the way up to 12.2 inches. The ride height is really important, especially if you want to take this off-road or take it camping and you're going to be in different types of terrain where you're going to need that ground clearance when you're going into a rough terrain. You also have your regen braking right here. So if I tap on that, it'll be low regen braking. You can see the graphic changing right there to let you know it's going to be low. Or if you want a super high where it'll be super tight, then you can put it into high, or simply put it in standard. It'll be sort of like in the middle of the ground between all three. We'll test this out in just a second once we actually take it for a spin. But that's going to be the soft ride feel, and then firm ride feel. That's going to be a bit firmer as we're driving, but you can control that from this section right here in the UI screen. The other thing I wanted to show you real quick is from this main screen, you can see all your drivetrain information. So you can see your drivetrain right here. You can see your compass. You can see your trip. You can see the battery in terms of temperature, your PSI for each of your tires, the motor the motors, tri-motors, because this is a tri-motor. So you can see the temperature for all of those as well. So looking at this section right here, there's a little icon right there. It looks like a trailer. You tap on that and you can select, which trailer it is. So if, let's say this one is, I don't know, you have a boat. So you can set this to your boat trailer so it knows what that is. And also you can see the estimated range at 100%. But again, it's once you plug it all in, it actually lights up all this information and tells you, more information once you have a trailer attached to it. The off-road mode versus off-road, and you tell it, yes, I'm going to go off-road. The graphics change. It has you all the way at the highest height. Now let's get into the cameras. Now, are these cameras better, worse than before? I will say that from the first time I saw the Gen 1 R1S or R1T actually, these were not that great. But right now, just looking at the front view camera and the surround camera, these have been improved tremendously. These are super clear. I love the way that it actually, gives you almost a 3/4 of a screen for the front camera with this 1/4 inch screen section for a 360 view. But I can also control that right in here. So if I only want to see the sides and the front, so this continues being the front and here are my sides, I'm turning the wheel on the front there, and you can see my tires turning. So that's really great, especially when you're going off-road and you want to see how close you are to a threshold or a rock, or simply just a tree that you might not want to hit. Now let's look at the charging menu right here. And this one right here looks like a little lightning bolt. It actually shows you what your range is. This is insane. 344 miles of range. This actually changes based on if I have it in conserve mode, all-purpose mode, or in sports mode. For 100% of the battery in conserve mode, I can get almost 400 miles. You can also get 346 miles in a full range. Currently, because we are at 99%, you'll get about 344. In sports mode, obviously, because sports mode is going to be a little more zippy, a little more faster when you're driving, especially in 22-inch sports wheels, you get, I say less range, but still, 341 or even in the current 339 is amazing range, especially because I'm coming from a Tesla, and at the moment I'm barely getting 300 miles from a full battery. Go into the vehicle settings. You have your charge port right here. So if I need to open it, I can actually open it from right there. If I want to open the frunk, I have the front button right there, and you can see that going up. And I can also close it from here as well. And also, if you are in a dark area and you need to illuminate the sides of the vehicle, you can use these buttons right here to turn on those side mirror lights. Now this button right here is for their new roof. But once you hit that button, it'll frost the roof. AC controls, right? Once you hit that, you control the direction of where these are going to be aimed at. Or if you want to turn them off, you can just tap on those and turn those vents off. But I can also control the middle row. So I can turn that on Or I can do all the way in the third row and just tap the air vents right here. And you guys can see that it turns like a light blue color. And you can see that that's basically telling me that the third row is now getting air. I can also control the fan speed from this section right here. Another cool feature that is incorporated, and this is more of a safety feature, is when you come to your Axis menu right here, there's a little button up here. You click on that, and let's say you have a flat tire, or somehow you got into a car accident and you're trying to tell people to go around you. Instead of you standing outside telling people, pointing in which direction they should go, you can actually come in here, roadside lighting, and you can, if you want them to go in that direction, you guys can see the animation from here, it lights up yellow to tell you to go that way. Or if you're telling them to go the other way, it'll light up going that way. Or if you're stuck in the middle of the road and you're just telling them, hey man, go around either side of me. All right, let's go all the way to the back and open this up. I kind of forget that this is a 2-split trunk. So you have the top part, and then you have this bottom part. And over here you have your 1500 watt max plug. You have a 180 watt max outlet right here as well. You can cover those up if you want to. These buttons right here are going to be for the middle rows right there. So once you hit that, oops, you can see that that's for the middle row. But if I wanted to do the third row right here, I would just have to tap on that and then just push it down. Same thing with this one. Release it right there and just push it down. Now, if you can tell that there's a bit of an elevation difference between that section right there and this, but they thought of everything so you can actually take this, pull it up, and set it back down, and that'll give you more of a level platform all the way to the middle row up there, so you can actually slide things all the way in. Now here you have plenty of space underneath here. You have enough space to put maybe like a spare, not a full-size spare, but a spare, like a donut spare right here, or simply just use this as additional space in here. You have these hooks here that you can, press and move them to use them as tie downs for maybe something that you're using down here. But back here you can sit on this section right here. Now to open this up, you can either do it from the inside like I showed you a second ago, or you can do it from the front right here, and it is automatic, which is super sweet. Let's take a look at the inside here. You have this platform that goes all the way up like this. It's got a two material. One, it's a rubber side right here and more of a carpeted side on this side. Because we do have an air compressor on board the back, this actually comes with the hose that you need to connect to the air compressor to fill up all your 4 tires in case your tires are low. This is long enough to actually reach all 4 tires all the way from the trunk. The other thing you'll have in here as well is going to be your mobile charger. You can plug this at home in a regular outlet or one of those dryer outlets as well. And the other thing this also comes with, it comes with a first aid kit. And also, all the way down here, you have a drain plug right in here. It is pressure, so there's nothing for me to take off. It is literally just a valve that just opens up once it feels, water, liquid, or anything like that. So it'll just drain down that way. Also in the front, you have 2 little pocket area with nets in them, which is great for you to put some, maybe your dirty clothes when you're done hiking, or your shoes. So you have somewhere to put them in there as well. So where do you charge this? So it's actually on the driver's side, all the way in the front over here. And how do you open this? You can open it like this, hit those 3 little notches right there. It'll open up. It is not NACS, but AC and DC fast charging are in here. And to close it, you can either do it from here, or you can do it from the inside of the R1S. We are going to take this puppy for a test drive and see how it compares to a Tesla Model Y, or it doesn't even compare to it because this is a much bigger vehicle anyways. We are off. So far, it feels like what an SUV would feel like. You're definitely feeling like you're high up. It's got a very good seating position as I'm driving. It does remind me a little bit when I did have my my Jeep Wrangler or my Jeep Gladiator. You know, you have that upright position. You can see straight into through the windshield. So far, with all-purpose mode, it's quite smooth. All right, just took a little bit of a pothole there. Not too bad. I mean, you know, coming from a Gladiator or a Wrangler, or even a Tesla Model Y, which is what I drive, it's not bad at all. The regen braking is a little bit on the tighter side or aggressive braking, but not bad, not bad. It does feel like it needs that aggressive braking because of the size of this vehicle. So far, I'm enjoying this. I do miss having a much bigger SUV. I'm used to being this high up. I'm barely, you know, holding onto the steering wheel, but it does, you know, it does stay pretty stable. You know, it's definitely not like driving a Jeep Wrangler. It's not like I'm all over the place, right? With my sway bar going this way, my control arms going that way. It is definitely, you know, staying in place for the most part. Again, it is a much bigger SUV with 22-inch wheels. I'm gonna forward just a little bit here. It is what you expected it to be. It is big. It is not like driving a Cybertruck where it has a four-wheel steering and it feels tighter when you're driving that, but it's still a very good tight, you know, turn radius for a vehicle this size. Since this does have launch mode, and this being a Tri-Motor R1S Gen 2. So to put this in launch mode, I have to go into my drive settings and find Sport mode. Now what Sport mode is doing is lowering the height of this SUV. Now I'm going to hit this little flag button here. I feel like this is going to be a lot of fun. So here we go. Press and hold accelerator. Oh, press and hold accelerator. So I'm actually, so I got three things going on here. I got the brake, steering wheel, and the accelerator. It says press and hold and get ready. And it's got three little circles in here. Continue holding both pedals, getting ready. Oh my God. What do I feel like I'm about to launch into outer space with this thing? Continue holding. Oh my God. This is nerve-wracking. Release the brake. Oh my God! Oh! Release the brake. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh! 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 Oh my God! That was incredible. A vehicle this size should not go that fast, but it did. It really. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. What?
For a vehicle this size to take off that fast, I'm not gonna lie, my stomach is like down in my shorts.
I don't have shorts.
All right. But I'm without words right now, guys. That was freaking amazing. That was freaking amazing. Just for you to have a little bit of fun with the launch mode in this massive SUV, I think this is a cool thing. I will admit the handling, it does feel like you're driving a larger SUV on much larger tires with 22-inch rims. So it does definitely feel that way. Taking the corners, again, same thing. I mean, you're driving an SUV, but it does not feel like doesn't feel like it's like swinging you around, like you might lose control of this. Whereas some other vehicles, it might have a softer suspension, or, you know, they're not tuned well enough. You might kind of feel like you're just, you know, roll over at any given time a bad wind comes by and you're rolling over. I'm joking. Of course, not every vehicle's that way, but you know what I'm saying. This does not feel that way. It does feel like I am in control the entire time. One thing I wish it would have, obviously, would be something kind of like full self-driving. I wish it would have that. I know they're working on it. I know they're working on something similar to it, but it is something that would be nice. Honestly, I wouldn't miss it if I had this Tri-Motor R1S. I probably wouldn't miss the FSD or the full self-driving, but it would be nice because I do drive a lot on the highways. So that would be a very nice thing to have on an SUV like this for long road trips. Is this the right electric SUV for you? That's the question. Could you go from a Tesla Model Y or even a Model X or even a Cybertruck and jump into a Rivian R1S Gen 2 especially with a Tri-Motor? Tri-Motor is probably the closest thing in terms of maybe power to maybe a Cybertruck. But in something like this, where it's very premium, very high end, would you make the move from a Tesla to a Rivian R1S Gen 2? And I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments below. Would you go for a Rivian R1S Gen 2? Or would you go for a Cybertruck? Or would you go for a Model X? I love the R1S. I think this is a fantastic big size SUV. I think this is definitely the right size SUV. Let me know what you want to see next. I have a ton of things planned for the channel. I will be going to the Electrify Expo here in Orlando this month, so I'll be doing a full review of all the new tech vehicles that are going to be on display there as well. And then next month, I'll be at the New York Auto Show as well. So I'll be bringing to you all sorts of new vehicles, new electric vehicles that are coming to the market